morning, students. This is the fourth video of the chapter Electoral Politics. And in this video, we are going to discuss system of elections. In previous videos, we discussed about democracy, we discussed about election system, that how electoral competition is good or bad. And now in this video, we are going to discuss system of election. I mean to say that what is the total election system? Election is a simple word, it is a simple mechanism. But in this mechanism, various steps are included. So we are going to discuss one by one several steps that are included in system of elections. Here we can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, total 6 steps are included in the system of election. And after completing this last step, that is the 6th step, we can tell that election has been completed. Or through the election, government has been formed. So, in this video, we are going to discuss one by one all the important steps that are included in the system or in this mechanism. So, let's start with the first point. The first point is electoral constituency. You'll have to understand that in our country, in order to complete the successful election, entire country is subdivided into small areas, and that particular area is termed as constituency. In India, for the election of Lok Sabha or general election, the total 543 constituencies are there. It means the entire country has been divided into 543 small pieces or small parts. And from each piece of land or from each constituency, our representative is going to get elected through the election system, through the process of voting. So here basically one seat in the Lok Sabha is equal to one constituency. So from one constituency, if a candidate is going to win, he will go and occupy the one seat in Lok Sabha. So basically one seat in Lok Sabha is equal to one constituency of Lok Sabha. So this is how we can relate easily the electoral constituency and the Lok Sabha seat. Now you will have to understand that different states are there in our country, and different states are having their own seats on the basis of their voting system, basis of their population in the constituency or in the Lok Sabha. So we can easily understand how many seats are allocated. So we'll discuss it one by one after few minutes. So basically first is the electoral constituency. The first role is to elect the areas from which our representative will be chosen. And this is done better by the delimitation committee or commission. So it is the role of the delimitation commission to set the areas or to bifurcate the big areas into the smaller constituency or to join several constituencies to form one constituency. So basically this is done by delimitation commission. Here, Election Commission of India is not going to play any role. Now, so this was the electoral commission. Now we are going to discuss about the second steps. Certain areas or certain constituency has been reserved for the scheduled caste and scheduled reserve and scheduled tribes. So basically some seats are reserved for SC and ST. I mean to say, from particular constituency, only SC candidate or ST candidate can contest the election. Or political parties can raise only SC and ST candidate from that particular constituency. Why? Because that particular constituency has been reserved for the SC and ST. So why it has been done? So the answer lies in the history. From the very beginning, the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe were not given any rights. But many political leaders came forward and they demanded their rights, particularly B.R. Ambedkar, Gandhiji. They raised their voice and finally they got opportunity to raise their voice against the atrocities or against the problem they were facing. So finally they got the chance. They got the chance. And how they got the chance? So in the constitution itself, a provision was made that certain seats would be reserved for SC and ST only, so that they would not face any challenge from other community. So other community may create problem. So in order to stop other communities, it was decided that particular seats or particular constituency should be reserved for SC and ST candidate only. It also means that different political party will have to raise candidates who belong to SC and ST only. Now in Lok Sabha, the number of ST candidate is 84 and ST candidate is only 47. So we need to remember this. It is simply data. Got it? So basically you need to understand that overall how many seats are, how many constituencies are reserved for SC and ST. So this is very important for giving them representation, because through the representation only they can raise their voice in the parliament. They can tell about the atrocities and they can also create some good policies for betterment of their SC and ST. So basically this is the second step that is required. So basically this first two steps are very important, and after that the third step will come. That is the voters list. Electoral roll, you may have heard about the term electoral roll or voters list. So basically here in the voter list, some names will be included. Suppose this is one constituency, in which area, the area in which we are living, it is the one constituency. So person will come from the election commission side and they will ask your age, your gender, your name, and they will take the details. And after that you will be counted as a voter from this constituency. So this is how voter list is going to be prepared, in which how many voters will be there and how many voters will be added this year. All things will be written in the voters list. Now through the voters list, people will know, the commission will know that how many voters are there in this constituency, what is their population, what is their proportion, and on that basis we can easily, during the election we can easily tell that how many person has contested the election. Got it? So this is the condition. Okay. Now fourth one is nomination of candidates. Here the most important part, after preparing the voter list, one more step is there. And what is that step? Nomination of candidates. Now different political parties are going to nominate their candidate. I mean to say that they will provide or they will give the tickets to the respective candidates whom they believe that they may win the election. So basically the political party's task is to give ticket for winning the election to different candidates whom they believe they may win the election. So here it is very important. Nomination of candidates is done by taking various factors into consideration, like caste background, like the class background, similarly the role of particular candidate in the area or their weightage in that particular area, and of course the money power also, money and muscle power, both things are required. So while judging, nowadays you may have heard that candidates are nominated by the political parties on different basis. And this matter, I mean to say that nowadays